This is Ivan, your VIA driver, and I'm gonna share the experience of VIA. And I hope these guys, VIA guys, I mean like the corporate headquarters people, are listening this video as well. But that video will be very informative for you if you are starting with VIA. Starting with VIA, it sounds like a big thing, it's a big thing. Let me show you, by the way, let me show you what kind of business model they have, these people. So this is what they do. They are VIA, the company, and they have this kind of vehicles. You have to see this kind of vehicles. I'm gonna go, and this is actually the VIA vehicle. You see, this is like a nice van, and it's called Metris Mercedes-Benz, and has 7-passenger automatic doors. All the necessary things for this thing to work for the VIA business model. And what is the VIA business model? The VIA business model, it's somewhat pre-designated rides, and you feel like a bus driver who is getting paid per hour. And now the topic of this video is going to be all about the business model of VIA. And if you are a driver if you are a driver that have been working or getting ready to work with Uber, Lyft, any licensed TLC driver, that video will be very informative. So the topic of the video, on the second minute, I'm starting with the topic video. I don't know how I'm gonna name this video, but most likely the VIA scam for the drivers. Now, it's a tough name, right? How VIA scams you to work for VIA with the promotions and the hourly rates. That's the gimmick. We can call it VIA gimmicks, we can call it no matter what. But now I want to mention this. VIA company is very good company. I have to give it to these guys. If I had money, like millions of dollars, I would bet on this company, because obviously these are very intelligent people that are running the company and doing these algorithms and all this business model. Now this business model, as a Uber, VIA, Lyft or Juno driver, you should know that these, first of all, these companies are all in competition for two things. First, to grab your attention. They are competing for you to be a driver for them. I mean by the minute, not just for you to sign up with them. By every minute they are in competition. That's the biggest power you can understand. If you are a sharp guy, if you are experienced Uber, Lyft and VIA driver, you would know already these informations. But and they are competing for customers as well. They are competing for two things: drivers and customers. For the moment, you know, like in 2 years, 3, there will be no competition for drivers. But as well, since you are a driver now and you're making a living, I believe that it's very important to listen to this video. That will open your eyes. So now I'm going to talk about 5 to 6 gimmicks that VIA does to the drivers to make them work for less money. No matter what you think is less, that the idea is that you are in the expense part of VIA. They pay you, you are in their expense. So they have to limit, they have to make you work for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And first of all, when I started VIA, the promise guarantee minimum price was $24. In a few weeks went to 21. Now it's 20, and I believe it will go lower. Now that's the whole gimmick. First of all, they say this is guaranteed minimum, but that's not how it works at all. And now I'm going to talk about this in details, because for the weeks ahead, I do have this log of myself, and the sole purpose of this log was to understand how they are paying me in reality. So I will tell you, after all this logging and this, the final thing is they paying you in New York City, 2019, this is about April, you will make with VIA about $22.5 an hour. No matter what they say, $40, $30, $50, promotions and all these things, this is not going to work. And I will tell you many of these gimmicks now in details. How do I know? Because I had my own log and I compared to the logs, to the reports that they sent me at the end of the week. So now they send you the report at the end of the week. That's a gimmick already. Now, first of all, I will tell you about these gimmicks. The first one is called calculation. Calculation. How this works? VIA will tell you in certain hours you will make $30 an hour, $40 an hour, $27 an hour, and they say this is guarantee. There's a guarantee that they're gonna pay you money. But now how they calculate this? This is a gimmick number one. Now, when I tell you all the gimmicks, you will understand why from the promise of $43 an hour or 37, you still get paid 20 or less. So be very careful about this. First is called the hourly calculation. How this works? Hourly rate works like this. They say you're gonna make $45 guaranteed, but before their commission. Right? So let's say you work 5 hours. Let's put it simple. $20 an hour guaranteed, the minimum, by let's say 10 hours, you make $100. But now they have to take 10%. So you're actually making $90. $90, not $100. Now this puts you in $18 an hour. They say guarantee 20. By the way, this is illegal. These guys, they should be very careful how they do these promotions, because this is literally illegally by some of the US laws. Maybe the guys in VIA checked out, or maybe they think Uber drivers or VIA drivers are just dumb people that yeah, that is illegal. For sure, I did check with attorneys, and I believe sooner or later somebody will sue them. It will be a Class A lawsuit against VIA. I don't know who that might be, but somebody will do sooner or later. Now, the calculation. First of all, they take 10%, but they offer you $20, so that's it. Now, the second gimmick they do, when they offer you this promotion of $40 an hour, it is not that you will log in and you will log out after 1 hour. That is a catch, and that's the biggest catch in VIA business model. They say from 5:30 to 6:30 you will work on $40 an hour. That's all good. But guess what? You cannot log out after the first hour. If that was the thing, any driver will very quickly adjust. They will work 1 hour for VIA, then will go to work for Uber, because in Uber you can make more money per hour than $20 or $40. That is a fact. So now, why is it that? Because they know very well, VIA guys, VIA, the corporate office, and the algorithms know that once you log into the $40, you will eventually work 2 or 3 more hours. That is not $40. So now this balance off. Let's say you work the first hour for $40, but that's not even the first hour, because usually work 30 minutes on $40, and I will tell you on the gimmick number 3 or 4 or 5 how this works, how this turns out to be. Why is it that? So they will promise you $40, and then you have to work 2 to 3 more hours till you finish the whole ride, unless you log in for 40 hours and you immediately log out. As soon as you have the first customer, you have to log out. If you log in on $40 and then you'll log out when you have a customer, then you have to wait, depending on how many customers will get in the vehicle and where they will go, and that may take 2 hours, 3 hours, on which you will be on $20 an hour. That's the whole idea. Let's say put 3 hours by $20, these are $60, and the $40 is $100, but for 4 hours. That's how you came down to $25. But the idea was 40. You want it to be 40, but it doesn't work like this. And that's not the rest of it. On the top of this $25, then they take their commission, which is 10%. So now it becomes $22.50. So you start with the idea that $40 is like good idea. Gimmick number 4. guess one of the most important, I don't know which one is the most important, but they work like a charm against the drivers, of course, to reduce their hourly rates. That's the idea of VIA. So now, you don't get informed this right away. What they do, they don't tell you right after you finish the first trip. If that was the case, when you start working with VIA, expecting $40 an hour, at the end of the trip you will know that you did not make $40 an hour, you just make $22 or $25 or $28, depending on the trip. It's all varies, right? But you will know it right away. So in that case, for them, they send you a report which I called the late report for the money. After 1 week, you know why is that? It's a psychological thing, because after 1 week, you don't remember what time you logged in the system. You don't remember. You have to count on trust. You have to trust these guys. What time you logged in, what time you logged out. How do I know all these things? Of the reduction of the money that they pay you, because I do have my own separate log. So I logged in and I compared. For 1 week I was comparing what the promises. You see, it's a promised, and actually I'm logging. So this is the way I kind of understand this thing, and I'm here to tell you these things for you to learn as well, for your own benefits, not for the benefits of VIA, Uber, Lyft, or anybody else. I mean, like, if you're a driver, that should be your only benefit. So now, gimmick number 4, that is called the late report. They send you this after a week because you don't know which tunnel you go through. These guys are very good with the tunnels. As soon as you go through a tunnel, they send you the money and you see it on a text message. That's good for these guys, they do. But the late report works against you, because now you cannot debate. For example, when I started working, I was expecting for the first week to be making like $1,800 for the first week, but I only got $1,100. $700 was the discrepancy in what I was thinking in my head that I'm gonna get. And then when I received 1,100, I was like, oh, wait a minute, where is my money? But then when you get through the report, you actually see how their system works. So now, another thing, the terminal. The terminal, it's a very good tool. The terminal, it's a destination they send you and they tell you, wait there. So now, there are many scenarios, but one of this is the scenario. Let's say start again with the $40 an hour. So they promise you that now you will work on $40 an hour. So let's say you are in Brooklyn. This applies for New York City, by the way, 2019. This is my disclaimer. This information is relevant and valid only for 2019, April in New York City, like the whole city. They usually works in Manhattan, but now they work everywhere, right? Because they had a lot of new drivers coming in, lured by this good pay, a lot of money, $40 an hour, $65 an hour. When I tell this to my customer, they say, oh, you're making a lot of money. Guess what? You're only making $20 before your personal expenses, like rental of the vehicle if you rent, maintenance if you own, insurance, gasoline, and all this stuff. So it becomes like $10 an hour. Let's be honest. That's the reality. Working for VIA will get you like around $10 an hour. Uber and Lyft, 15, 20, sometimes 30, 40, yes, more. But I will tell you why is that. Because you have total freedom and control. In VIA, you are deprived by the most important thing, to make decisions and to control what you do at the time and at the locations. So you have zero control here by timing and location, and that's pretty much it. So another gimmick, number 5 or 6, whatever, I don't remember now, because I'm not looking to structure this video very well, like some other guys doing it, but the other one is called the terminal and the terminal distance. Now, if you have been working with VIA, you would notice that sometimes the terminal is very far away. The reason for that is this. This is a typical scenario. You start on $40 and you think you're going to make $40 an hour. Guess what? By the time you get to the terminal, they don't pay you. They don't pay you even the promised minimum guarantee $20. They pay you nothing. So you go to the terminal, sometimes takes 29 minutes. Now, if the terminal was close to where you are, let's say you're in Brooklyn, and the terminal should be 5 blocks away, you get to the terminal, you click the button, I'm here, and start getting paid this $40. But that's not how it works. It works just the other way around. Now I have to go, because I've been waiting here on this terminal for a while, and they don't pay me, so I made this video. I will finish the video when it's more about the terminal, the distance, and how you actually, as a driver, in some words, you are losing money and you don't have control over your activity and money. So I'll close the video. I gotta go to do work for VIA. Subscribe for this channel, by the way.